But I think the game I'm kind of curious about is Task Force Admiral because I was actually talking, and this was before you guys had announced that it was a Microprose game, and I was talking with the developer and sort of talking about how I was really into Microprose games when I was younger. I had just downloaded I think it was Task Force 1942, which was like an old. They have a very old version of it that you can download on Steam. And I was like, hey, this looks a lot like in some ways anyway, what you guys are trying to do with Task Force Admiral. And the developer sent me a picture of like his whole disc set of the same game, the original like floppy discs that he had from the game that he had laying out. So obviously it seemed like there's some crossover there. But I'm really excited about Task Force Admiral. I don't know if I have any specific questions about it other than, what do you have anything that you can share around, we've seen a lot with the models, right? They've shown A6M20s, they've shown Wildcats, they've shown ships and other things like that. And I know they're going for more of a scenario-based approach. I believe that's what they've said anyway. But can you share anything about like what that gaming experience should look like? Like if you were to give me a 30,000-foot elevator pitch on why I should be excited about Task Force Admiral, I'll just let you do that.
Okay. How to pitch it? Well, it's not easy. Let me tell you, because there are so many things in this game that it really excites me. That it's kind of hard not to give away a lot of the things while doing this pitch. But the game basically puts in the position of an admiral, someone that has a task force, in this case, a task force with some aircraft carriers, and you'll be doing some scenarios, some missions based on World War II events. And although you're not required, you can actually order units on their own. But the overall game, I would say that we tend to say that when you do this, when you actually order the units and make them move around, this is kind of like the easiest way of playing the game, because the hardest one, on the one that we want people to actually play, is the one in which you are coordinating your forces and commanding your forces through other in-game characters, through other guys, through other ranks in the Navy. So you are in control of the overall scope of war, of the battlefield, and they will be the ones directing, if you can say so, the actual units and perform the actions that you want to perform. One of the cool things, and one of the coolest things for me in the game, one of the things that I'm more curious about, and it actually stresses me out, to be honest, but it stresses me out in a good sense, is the fact that you won't, in a lot of occasions, you won't be able to have a God's eye view of what's happening because you are limited to the technology that existed back then. So, for example, if you order an aircraft strike force, an aircraft wing, to go radio silent, they will go radio silent. You will have no idea where they are, right? So if you send them off to attack some ships or a position on an island or something like that, and you tell them, okay, you guys are going to take off and attack this position, and then you are going to fly on this direction, and at 1600 hours, we are going to meet at this position. But you're going to fly this, under radio silence. You will have no idea what will happen until you are on that spot that you told them that you would be with your aircraft carrier at 1600 hours. If you miss that timeline, your guys are probably going to have to ditch on the water or something like that. Or you can be there and no aircraft will pop up because they were all shut down, for example. But you have no idea what happened, right? You just know, guys are not here. So you will have the same feeling, the same pressure, the same stress that admirals had back in World War II, when the technology was so limited that you a lot of the times you would have no idea where your units would be.
Oh, that's exciting to hear. I know, like, so I think one of the things that I am most interested in games right now is games that present you with challenges based off limited information and limited control. You know, we've had games with like God's Eye control and command for forever,
Yep.
but there's not a ton of war games out there that really put the shackles on you in a way that like a historical commander would have. So I think that's pretty exciting to hear. I know that's one of the really appealing things I think of. It's not a naval game, but there's a game called Scourge of War where like the idea is you're one individual within a larger Civil War battle or whatever, and so you issue orders to your command, but the rest of the battle goes on around you.
Yep.
So I think it sounds like a similar concept, although perhaps maybe a little bit more advanced. So that's pretty exciting to hear.
Yeah, that's in a nutshell. I would say it's pretty similar. It's pretty similar. Yeah.
Will this game be like sandbox? Will we like, since we're like going to be the Admiral, can we tell like two task forces to go to, instead of Midway, to Wake Island instead? Like, will we kind of develop the war throughout 1942 ourselves?
Yeah, yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have all the details about that, to be honest with you, but I would say, yeah.